About a month ago, we covered a story about how the U.S. is using chemical weapons in Syria, and very few outlets covered it, very few people picked it up, but apparently now it's getting another round of coverage because the United States has not stopped using chemical weapons. So now the New York Times is even reporting on it. They say this: images and reports from witnesses in the northern Syrian city of Raqqa suggest that the United States-led coalition battling the Islamic State there has used munitions loaded with white phosphorus, the use of which in populated areas is prohibited under international law. Photographs and video clips posted online showed blinding spots of light spreading outward on Thursday night over what residents said was eastern Raqqa. By day, the images showed how white puffs trailing tentacles of white smoke showed low white puffs, trailing tentacles of white smoke. Both are typical visual signatures of white phosphorus, which can be loaded into artillery shells. Residents reached by text message reported similar bombardment on Friday. So, this is illegal under international law. Let me give you a few other facts as what's been happening recently. Tens of thousands of civilians are still in Raqqa. Now, it is the capital of ISIS, so let's be clear about that. It is the capital of ISIS. But there are a lot of civilians, tens of thousands of civilians are still in there, basically as hostages under ISIS, and 40,000 kids are still there. So this is like carpet bombing with chemical weapons. That's what it is. You're using white phosphorus when you're going to get a lot of civilians, but apparently the U.S. military doesn't care. And, oh yeah, by the way, we just bombed an internet cafe. And at the internet cafe was somebody who was working with the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights and was constantly giving them updates on the casualty numbers in Raqqa and what was happening in Raqqa. So, indiscriminate bombing, that's what's happening. Not only indiscriminate bombing, but indiscriminate bombing with illegal weapons. You're not allowed to use white phosphorus specifically in civilian populated areas, and that's exactly what they're doing. So remember, we made a big thing. Oh my God, Assad using chemical weapons. Oh my God, he's killing civilians with chemical weapons. Now, when we do it, we're like, what do you mean? Oh, we're doing the exact thing that we were saying was illegal and wrong and maybe makes them ripe for regime change? So let me ask you a question. Can, like, the UK or Australia go, look, sorry, we're going to have to do regime change in the United States. We're going to have to go militarily topple the government in the United States. Why? They were just using white phosphorus in Syria. What are you talking about? They said that's grounds to oust Assad. Using white phosphorus, chemical weapons to kill civilians. That's exactly what the U.S. is doing right now. Should we have regime change done against us? I would imagine you'd say no, which means you have a double standard. So when they do it, topple them. When we do it, shh. The textbook definition of hypocrisy. So, look, the bottom line is, Trump said he was going to do this. Trump said it, Ted Cruz said it, virtually every Republican candidate said it. They go, civilian casualties, schmafilian flagellties. I don't give a fuck. We have to loosen the rules of engagement. And they have, by the way. They did it in Somalia specifically. We loosen the rules of engagement, because what do we got to do? We can't fight these politically correct wars. That's another thing they say. You can't fight these politically correct wars. Meaning, hey, look, you got to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. You got to kill civilians, so be it. So now you kill civilians and you kill white phosphorus, illegal under international law. Cluster bombs we're letting Saudi Arabia use. We're selling them to Saudi Arabia as they use them in Yemen. So we don't care about human rights. We don't care about human rights. We don't care about being the world police. We don't care about civil liberties, human rights. It's just not a consideration. So how about we get the fuck out of Syria? How about that? How about you let people in the region fight ISIS? How about you let the Syrian government fight ISIS? By the way, we're also attacking the Syrian government like every other day now. So we're just bombing anybody. Fuck it. Bomb away. Who cares? Just war-obsessed country and government because we got to keep that military-industrial complex churning along. But yeah, let people in the Middle East fight ISIS. Let the Kurds fight ISIS. Let Shia militias fight ISIS. Let the Syrian government fight ISIS. They're in their region. They ain't in Nebraska. So why not do that, and we'll focus on our own country and take our money and resources and rebuild our infrastructure, change it from a grade of D+ to an A+, get single-payer healthcare, free college, No, of course not. That would make too much sense. Instead, we have to waste over 50% of our discretionary spending on the military, and we have to spend $100 billion a year on 800 military bases around the world. We just have to waste our money on stupid shit. We have to do it.